Are you kidding me? Talk about timing, guys. We just released a video that was for the Arch Chronomancer Lightning Conduit, Cast on Shock build, and then the Fun Police Grinding Gear Games pull us over, put a ticket on our dashboard, and say, hey, fun's over. Well, guess what? Fun's not over. I'm not paying that ticket, and in this build guide, I'm going to show you guys some of the updates that we did for this 0.1.0D updated build so you too can continue enjoying Lightning or migrate over here if you're one of the cold refugees because you just got dealt a huge nuke. Let's stare the enemy right in the face. Trigger gems and energy gain. 0.1.D, this is the culprit, which is why we're going to have to make the shift in our gameplay. So trigger gem energy was not in the right place, they say, and it was far too easy to use ailments to trigger spells. And we definitely enjoyed that sentence in the previous patch. We were just using this to pretty much use Arc and proc Lightning Conduit with Cast on Shock, which is extremely successful and was pretty much murking, did great AoE damage, and also did solid damage to bosses. But since that's not the case anymore, what did we shift to and what can you do now? If you're an advocate of the old ways of doing things and you want to stay in business with Cast on Shock, that's totally up to you. If you press Alt, you can see that investing Gem Cutter Prisms or GCPs into this gem will allow you to have up to 15% increased energy gain based off of the spells that you're using. And the previous setup we were using was Lightning Conduit with Impetus and Energy Retention. So we're trying to get this Lightning Conduit skill to fire off as frequently as possible, dealing pretty devastating damage as it consumes the shock on anything that was affected. So this doesn't really hit as hard as it used to, and I gotta tell you, that ride is over for me. We're gonna put it into second gear, and let me show you what we're doing now. So Archmage, this is our new support gem that we're gonna be using. It is a 100 spirit reservation, and it goes up a little bit more as we're putting additional benefits in there for our character. So you are gonna wanna scale up some of that spirit to make sure you can use this. So what Archmage is doing is it says non-channeling spells gain 5% of damage as extra lightning for each 100 mana that you have, which is already something our build's trying to do. And non-channeling spells cost additional 5.3 of your maximum mana. So to offset some of that requirement as easily as possible, we are going to be using Clarity, as this is pretty damn good. It gives us 30% increased mana regeneration rate while the supported skill is active, and it's always active. Furthermore, we're going to stay even more healthy with Vitality, because Vitality is also helping us. Remember the setup in this build, we're trying to use Mana Tempest, which is going to spend our life. So as long as Archmage is up, we're going to be doing this, just kind of sitting inside the Tempest, casting our Arc, doing the Lord's work, right? And look at that, mana's going bye-bye, whatever bang, we're a Chronomancer, doesn't matter, and we're resetting our stuff, looking good, and we're almost freaking dead. Thank you, Vitality, for trying to keep us alive as I pump one potion. So you got to make sure you're not just living in the storm, but this setup will do really, really good damage. It's been doing quite significant damage, but that also is because I got kind of lucky. So that is the adjustment. When I say about getting kind of lucky, we're no longer using conductivity. We have to actually press this. It's not an aura with blasphemy anymore. I don't have the spirit at the moment on my gear to hold that, but I'd like to. I'd like to make Conduit a blasphemy aura supporting the whole build, but not there just yet. That's okay. So Arc, I got super lucky. I did get a perfect Jeweler's Orb, so I was able to 6-link this. So I'm going to show you what we've been doing to get the damage you're seeing on the gameplay here. So Arc is currently being supported by Lightning Mastery, Arcane Tempo for cast speed. It's also using Unleash support now with Lightning Penetration and Conduction. So I'm still shocking everything. I'm still penetrating the resistances because that's always fun to do, right? Who doesn't like that one? And then Unleash just dealing a crap load of damage. And then we're also going to be using Arcane Tempo, like I said, to get faster cast to push that shock. We're able to do good damage to a boss, and on this boss that you see, we're actually not using the Archmage tech. This is a tier 5 rare boss, and it does good damage, but it really clears the maps very well. So what I'd recommend is, if you want to go with the clearing setup, you could definitely still use Cast on Shock. You do hit enough targets with Arc chaining all the way. It is okay. It's not nearly as good as it used to be, but that single target and that raw frickin' damage, Archmage is coming out on top for me, and I would absolutely switch to this personally if I could. And all you cats out there that are currently on the cold build, my heart goes out to you. It's devastating when you can't play the build that you used to love, right? You just kind of got the lights turned off and you're paying the energy bill. Didn't make sense. But hey, if the game's better for it, that's the cost that we pay. And maybe next patch I'll get nerfed. Nah. And then we'll see if I'm playing fire or something, right? We'll just do the circle. Okay guys, thanks for checking out the video. Hope this update helps you. Build still works and we're pushing through maps. Let's fucking go. See you in the next one.